Good morning to all of y'all in the 48 and territories and the two extra states that are a kingdom of their own, both establishing a monarchy slash hierarchy in the last two states of Alaska and Hawaii. Greetings to you and happy trails, and hope the kids are having a great school year time at this time. And just out here chilling, waiting for the library. It's opening at noon. It's approximately 8:37 a.m. And it was raining last night. It was bad, bad, bad. I've been in the rain at night a few times out here, probably about 5 or 6 times. And they do leave you in the rain. So thank God I had a little bit of equipment, not much. The last time I had equipment for that, they took it at Walmart. Y'all remember the Walmart fiasco? In Capilay, took my equipment at the Walmart. So that goes to show you that you should not take people's equipment if they're in good faith taking the stuff because they really, really need the stuff, right? Because you're not gonna get them out the rain. After the climate, that's what I was talking about yesterday. The climate changes. This is not necessarily a climate change, but it is a bit of a climate problem where you leave people out in the rain without gear. You know, I seen a dude pushing a basket. After the rain had stopped, it was a dude pushing a basket. He was kind of limping, like his leg was messed up. I think he was physically handicapped with a leg injury. You know, and then it was several homeless people out here with me sleep in the rain, right here at the library. So it rained for a good 2-3 hours last night. It wasn't hard rain, but it was a good steady rain for 2 or 3 hours. We were stuck outside. I have a very small item to protect me from the rain. It doesn't protect all my items. The last time I had the gear and equipment for that, they took it the last 2 times. Actually, once in New York, I had a tarp. They took that. And then I had a blanket system in Washington. They took that. But the blanket system doesn't work as well. But it's better than nothing. Excuse me saying, but it's better than nothing. Cover your stuff with thin blankets. Like I had a couple of thin blankets that I could have covered my stuff with, you know. And then I had a tent and, you know, some gear that I got at Walmart here in Capilay, and they took it. So they are purposely leaving us out in the elements. It's very, very distressing, inhumane, and it's grounds for us to get out of here. It's grounds for us to get a ticket out of here for free. For free. They're like, well, how are you gonna pay? I think when they do that type of stuff and leave you in the rain like that, they have to let you out for free. Because that's what happened to me when I was in North Texas, in Texarkana. They left us out in tornadoes. Remember the F1s and the F2, 3, and 4s were hitting probably every day, every other day. Me and that pale dude, he was a white person that looked like a mixed person. He was a undercover officer. He was an ex-officer or something. They had put him off the police force because he got hooked on drugs. You know how that go on. So he got hooked on drugs. They put him off the police force. I think he was working undercover. And he was hanging out. We were drinking, you know, margaritas and beer and stuff, and smoking weed, smoking cigs, having fun, you know, just doing our craft. Trying to get money, you know, getting donations and stuff. We got enough money to go get a freaking room. So, them F1, 2, 3, 4, them tornadoes were hitting every other day. We got that room. He took off and gave his check to that white girl. And then I took off on his ass. And that's when I got arrested at the McDonald's by that monkey girl in Cooper. So, where the monkey got me arrested. So, when that situation happened, I got out of jail. I stayed in jail for a day or two. And then I got out. And then the F4s and the F3s, they didn't hit, but it looked like they could hit. So I started walking. I walked about 10 miles to get out of town trying to get into the freeway area so I can get over to the next town, which was Falk, Arkansas. It was Falk, F-A-U-K, Falk. So I was trying to get into Falk and get out of that Texarkana area because the tornadoes were getting to be too much. And they didn't have nowhere for us to go, and the girl got me arrested. It was just a big mess. I had my stuff in a big garbage bag. I was tired of it. I was starving to death. It was terrible. So I just walked and walked and walked till I got the hell up out of there. And I ran into the brambleberry, the blackberry tree, and I got some blackberries, and so it was funny. And that's what I met that dude. They took me out there to Mount Pleasant. And then I stayed in Mount Pleasant, went to the hospital, and then I went on to the truck stop from there, and the lady got me in the Falk. So I did manage to get out of that town of Texarkana in Texas. It's in the northeast corner. Texas is next to 3 or 4 states. It's next to Oklahoma, very close to Arkansas. It's technically in Texas, and then Louisiana is also right there. So it's about 4-state border right there. Just like the Four Corners, the Four Corners, Colorado or whatever. So it's like that. It's like the Four Corners, except it's more east. So the Lord did give me the privilege of getting out when they did that to us. And even when I was in hurricane zones, I've been in several hurricane zones throughout my life. I've been here for 42 years, going on 43. I've been in several hurricane zones and had to endure hurricanes, tropical storms, and floods several times. And the Lord let me out. They took me to the veterans facility one time in Georgia, but I got out. So one thing I learned in my experiences of being homeless for about 19 years, I've been homeless since I first I got foreclosed out of my house in Atlanta, and then I got my apartment over there in Houston on Unity. I've been homeless since I lost my apartment on Unity, which is, my daughter was in utero. She was just birthed. And then I went to jail and lost that apartment, never had my own place since then. It's been about 17, 18 years of straight homelessness, staying from place to place, getting rooms here and there, staying with people here and there, and just blah, blah, blah. I never stayed in the homeless shelters too much except when I had COVID. That's the only time I remember staying in a homeless shelter, when I had COVID in Washington State last year. That didn't work out. Only lasted for a day or two, maybe 3 days max. So I don't really stay in homeless shelters because it's pointless. I try to find the Salvation Army and I can't never find it, or they have a waiting list, or you got to go in at a certain time and do an application and blah, blah, blah. So I just don't bother with it. So the Lord did move me from place to place when the weather got bad enough. So I'm feeling that maybe he will do the same thing here. The weather does start to change, with the rain and a lack of wind. Like, we're getting a breeze right now. We're getting a very light breeze right now. But in the morning time, there's no breeze. There's no wind. It's straight stagnated air. That's going to start a mosquito problem and a fly problem. They already have a problem with flies and malaria. It's going to start a mosquito problem next. So when stuff like that starts happening, it's like you start waiting on the Lord to move you and get you on up out of there, because I know he don't want you to be outside. However, if he sees you being stuck outside in the elements and things get bad enough, then he going to help you get out of there to your next destination. So that's what I'm waiting on now, just to get out of here and get to my next destination, because things are getting a little bit out of control with the climate and the environment. Them not letting us have gear and making us sleep outside. So I'm hoping he'll move us out of here quickly, very, very soon. Now, the next thing I want to discuss is my eye injury, and that people with eye injuries do have options. And now that it's been like over a year since my eye was injured in Alabama, I've started to see the reality that there is options, and you can find some better ways to approach that issue. So if you do get some type of eye injury to your eyeball or to the lid or to the eye area, you know what? find a good doctor. And I know y'all like, well, I would like to do that, but I didn't have time. I had to just go to the ER. I like, you just go to the ER. You know what I'm saying? Try to go to the best ER in town, in your area, because eye injuries are so difficult. And the people will try to set you up to where they don't get all the surgeries done. Then you'll be looking like this, you know? So try to go to the best ER in town. Usually it's going to be the ER where they have the student doctors. When it pertains to eye injuries, student doctors are going to save you, because the trained and well known doctors are going to be corrupted by prostitutes, Communist Party, white supremacist groups, and they spouse to whoever. These student doctors are not under that type of corruption pressure. So that's who you want to deal with your eye injuries, is the student doctors. The ones that are still in training in ophthalmology. It's ophthalmology and plastic surgery. Some of the ophthalmologists are a little bit versed in plastic surgery of the eye, and some are not. Sometimes you have to get a ophthalmological plastic surgery, which is also called a forgot the name of it. But anyway, they have special plastic surgeons that do ophthalmological surgeries of the eye areas and the eye organs. So you want to go to the best ER with student doctors if possible, or with the really, really good doctors. They're going to do your first surgery. You're going to be in recovery. Your main issue is to keep infection out. Fire department. I'm not putting them on video again. Forget the fire department. Nah, just kidding. Anyway, so you want to keep infection out and try to keep the injury very, very clean and dry. That's what's going to help the healing process and keep it from being disgusting. It does get nasty. And you're like, well, they only gave me such and such items. I'm like, you find the items that work for you. Alcohol is going to burn the crap out your ass. Peroxide might burn too. It's not good for the eye area. I wouldn't use alcohol at all. Peroxide, I would just use sparingly. Like, just dab it, dab, you know, and see how you feel. If it burns, don't use it. What I use, they give you the saline water. The saline water I didn't really feel too good about. They give you the iodine. The iodine is okay. Okay? And then the third thing I used was a tea. TEA, tea. You find a tea that is good for the eye area infections. Green tea is good, and black seed tea. I would use a green tea or black seed tea if you're a male. If you're a female, you use the jasmine green tea. It's jasmine green tea, and I would use that to clean that area, get the infection out without burning. It won't burn you. Okay, just try different type of tea. TEA. To, you know, you make the tea with hot water, put it in a clean bottle. If you want to get a brand new bottle from Walgreens or wherever, the Container Store or Walmart, get a brand new little empty bottle thing, put the tea in there, and just squeeze it out into a Q-tip or a gauze. Don't use cotton balls, and don't use towels and toilet paper and paper towels. Don't use that. Try to use gauze or a Q-tip, so that way the little fibers won't get stuck in your eye. Okay, you can also use muslin. There's a special cloth called muslin and stuff like that. It won't get stuck in your eye, but that's like a last resort if you don't have Q-tips, or if you don't have gauze. Then the next option would be a paper towel, and then the muslin fabric. It's not gonna get the fiber stuck in your eye or your injury. And so you clean it with tea and saline water, and you put a piece. You let it dry it. Let it dry, and then you put the gauze on top. Put a big piece of gauze, and you tape it. And leave it like that for a few hours. Let the gauze do what it do. And then you take the gauze off. Sometimes it's hard to get that gauze off because it gets stuck in the wound. The trick for that is to put a small piece of paper towel in there. Don't use the paper towel that's all cushiony and all that type of shit. It's going to get stuck in there too. You got to use the paper towel like the industrial commercial paper towels that you get in a restroom, like at the hospital and stuff like that. It's less likely to get stuck in there. But no, it's not a problem if the stuff gets stuck. What happens if it gets stuck, you have to squeeze water in it to unstick it. And you don't want to go through that. It's disgusting. So it's better to put like a small piece of paper towel right there, or if you can find a small piece of cloth, like muslin cloth, that won't get stuck in the wound. It won't get stuck. It won't leave fibers in there and stuff like that. And I know people are like, I don't know where to get that cloth at Walmart. They have a cloth department in Walmart. I would go to Walmart and ask them, what type of cloth can I use to put in this wound and help me clean and cover the wound without getting fibers and stuff stuck in it. They might be able to guide you to the right cloth, or you could Google it. Just look on Google. But I would use the muslin cloth or something similar to that. And it shouldn't get anything stuck in there, and it should clean it and keep it nice and fresh, and help it heal properly. It doesn't have like dyes and harsh chemicals and stuff in it. So that's what I would use. And you cut it into small pieces, so when you take it off, you just toss it. You don't have to wash it and stuff like that. You just toss it, cut it into very small pieces for your eye, and put it under the gauze. And I think it'll help the healing process. If you just want to use straight gauze, you can, but like I said, it's going to get stuck in that wound, and you're going to have to put all kind of liquids in there to unstick it and get it out. It's not nice. So, you make a decision on that. Your other option is to put sunglasses on. That way you don't have to use nothing to cover or patch the eye. You put sunglasses on. But see, that option, you're looking at an infection and you're looking at pain. It's going to be painful, and it might have a little bit of an infection risk because it's an open wound. But you will need sunglasses regardless, because you don't want people to see you with that crap on your eye, that patch and all that nasty shit. So you will need 2 or 3 pair of sunglasses that cover all that. So that's very important. They use the eye cell patch to close the wound of the eye, or the eyelid. They use the eye cell patch. That you need to stay in a hospital for that. They will try to send you home sometimes to do that, and it's again an infection risk. So I would try my best to stay in a hospital for 3 to 6 weeks to get the eye cell patch process done, so you don't have to get skin grafting, which is very, very excruciating, painful. And a lot of people are not equipped to deal with it. So my suggestion with that is to do the eye cell patch in the hospital. If they discharge you, say you have to go home. Good luck with that. I don't know what to tell you. Okay? Try to take a bath and not a shower. I wouldn't take showers like that. Try to take baths until the healing really, really is in good, it's in a good status, and try to keep everything spick and span clean with bleach. Yes, you want to have bleach everywhere. Bleach is about the only thing I can think of to clean your environment where you won't pick up an infection in your eye again. um, that's the main two things, is to clean with bleach. Keep your bathroom extravagantly clean at all times with bleach products. Take a bath instead of a shower until the healing is well, in process, and then you can start taking showers and let the water run into your face. And then just clean that eye area and take that eye cell patch off every day. Try to take it off every day. They say every other day or whatever. I would try to get it off about every day. Put a new one in. You can do it yourself at home, because in the hospital they lazy and they don't want to do it. So depending on the hospital, whatever. But you could put it in yourself every day and let it sit there and take it off. Change it out every day while the wound is healing. Stitching, they say, is not a good option because your eyelid won't be able to close. So if it's an eyelid injury, you don't want to stitch it. But if it's above the eyelid or under, in these areas, you can use stitching. Stitching is an option. Okay, because I've been stitched and adhesives have been put into different parts of my eye on numerous occasions, but they cannot go into the lid. You know what I'm saying? I've been in several fights and altercations where they've had to stitch and do stuff like that. I fell out in the shower. They had to stitch up here. It was, I've been in numerous incidents like that. So stitching is not a good option unless it's around the eye and not in the eyelid itself. Okay? Don't let them stick no needles in your eye or your eyelid. Try not to let them do that. They're saying, I'm going to numb your eye up. Okay, put me to sleep. They do what you need to do, because I do not want you sticking a freaking needle in my eye. They will try to do that. Needles and sharp objects. Ask them kindly over and over again not to do that. To go on and let you get anesthesia and they do a formal surgery. Okay, because you don't want to see all that crap. Trust me. They stick that needle in your eyeball, they're going to damage something in your eyeball, and you're going to be losing vision. That's how I lost vision. They stuck that needle in my eye. Did a bedside surgery. So don't let them do that. What else? That's about it. If you want to go for skin grafting, then that's your choice. I would try to avoid it at all costs. Do the eye cell patch method and clean your eye cell patch area, get it out and replace it every day. See how that goes. Along with a scar cream, putting a scar cream in that area where it's injured, or where you have the surgery or whatever, the affected area. Using scar creams, I think, will also help. And if it's an eyelid injury, it's a very difficult injury to fix. It's very difficult. Usually they want skin grafting to fix it so it looks all the way regular again. I would just say discuss your options with your doctor and look online and do a lot of research to see what your options are for the eyelid surgeries to make it look normal again. Don't opt out of that. Always try to make your eyelid look normal again, because it is difficult when your eye looks like this, and this one looks like that. It looks really, really weird. People treat you bad, and you're gonna be a pariah in society. They're not gonna want to deal with you that much because your eye looks weird. You'll have to wear sunglasses all the time or an eye patch, and it's just not the way you want to look. You don't want to look like that. So do everything in your power to make your eyelid look normal again. And if you feel like you can't do that skin grafting, then you just find a good pair of sunglasses and say, I'm just going to use sunglasses because I cannot do this skin grafting crap. And I'm going to keep the eye covered. Yeah, so It'll be hard for you to deal with people and have relationships, friendships, and stuff, get jobs, and be normal in society with one of your eyes messed up. Even if you cover it, it's still difficult. And that's why I say just do everything in your power to make your eye look normal again. And your eyelid, the whole eye area. Do everything in your power. You know? And if you have to go that skin grafting route, you just stack your meds before the surgery. You stack your meds before the surgery. Don't depend on a doctor to give you enough meds, because they won't do it. A lot of times they're not going to give you the meds you need. You get every type of pain narcotic you can stack, plus the topical pain meds. You get every type of pain medication you can stack. I would stack several months of pain meds and topical pain meds before I go in for that surgery of skin grafting of the eye area. I would just stack my meds. And if they let you take a pill before the surgery, take a pill before the surgery. Tell them I want as much pain medication as is safe to administer to me. And as soon as you get out the surgery, you get your little pain medication stashed out and start medicating yourself. If you need a morphine pump, tell them I need a morphine pump. That's what you really need, is that morphine pump. It'll numb your whole body. So if you got to get skin grafted, you tell them, I got a stash here. I'm going to take one of my meds before the surgery if possible, if it's safe. You give me as much pain meds as you can during and after the surgery. I want the correct pain prescriptions, and I want you to administer these meds to me on time, correctly, at all times. And I need a morphine pump. And if they say, okay, that's fine, you get proof of that in writing. You see proof of that in writing or on print, on paper. You get your copies of that. So that way, if they don't keep their word, you have copies that they said they're going to administer these meds and they approved it and said yes. Keep a copy. That way, if they don't do what they're supposed to do, you call that patient advocate. You call hospital administration. Okay? Yeah. You call for help. Call the media, a lawyer, somebody to help you make sure that this stuff is administered. You have everything in writing. And if they refuse to do it, and you in a lot of pain, go on and check out of the hospital and go home. Go home and see if you can deal with the pain. Medicate yourself at home safely. See if you can deal with the pain. And if that doesn't work, then you go to another hospital. You call the ambulance to come and get you, or have your people transport you to another hospital and see if they can help you at another hospital. With pain management issues, a lot of times you have to DIY. You have to do it yourself, because these doctors and these nurses don't care. You got to do it yourself. You got to have your own pain meds and a regimen and a method to administer your meds to yourself, because they are not going to do it. You're going to end up committing suicide or passing out dead from pain and shock. I've been through all this type of stuff, and it's not worth the risk of putting your life in danger because you're in pain. So you just do everything in your power to get everything done correctly yourself. Take care of you. Love yourself, care about yourself, and do for you. Do for you. These doctors and nurses and these hospital staff, sometimes they don't have ethics. They don't have morals and decency. So you need to do for you, to do for self. And it's okay to use a combination of conventional and natural remedies. They say no, but you can do it. You can do it. You can do it safely. Do your research and do it safely. There's some natural remedies for pain. You can also use those and try those out. A lot of times, natural remedies for pain are not, they're not reputable. But you could try them. If for mild or moderate pain. For severe pain, surgeries and post-surgeries, you need to use probably regular meds, conventional meds. for the most part. And then the topical pain meds as well. But the natural medication will come in handy for if you need something to kind of relax you and put you to sleep while you're in pain. So there's like valerian. I think valerian is a natural remedy to put you to sleep and kind of get the pain off of you. Oat straw and of course Tylenol products, but those are not real strong until you get into like the Tylenol 3, 4, 5s. On from there, I had Tylenol 5, which is considered to be Percocet. It's tough. Percocet is tough. Percocet will knock you out quickly. Even a quarter or a half a pill will knock you out. And it has a little bit of an effect on your cardiovascular system. So anybody with blood pressure or cardiovascular issues should be careful taking these high-level Tylenols, Percs, and all that oxycodone. It does affect your heart. So just be careful taking that. Make sure you have your blood pressure and your breathing meds, your inhalers, emphysemas, and all that, emphysema meds. And that's another thing about pain meds and painkillers is that sometimes they can affect your cardiovascular system, your heart function, and start causing you like heart pounding or lung um, disruptions where you can't breathe and your heart's pounding too much. So you do want to have a blood pressure med and a breathing med to help counteract those side effects of the hardcore upper level narcotics. So I've been on several narcotics, from morphine to oxycodone and Percocet to Tylenol 3s and Vicodin I've had from time to time in Atlanta for the dental pain. I gave those to my neighbor and stuff. And I've had some high level pain meds, but certain ones can affect your cardiovascular system. So you do want to be safe with it. I didn't give it to her. I'm sorry. Never mind. And you want to be safe picking pain meds and making sure they're strong enough and that you have the meds to treat the side effects and stuff like that. That's a fun part because you get to experiment with pain meds and see what happens, and you get to ask for more meds for the side effects. So that's fun. And I enjoyed it. You get to ask for more food and everything. Yes. If you're in the hospital, they might give you double portion food. I'm on some high level pain meds and I got to take blood pressure and breathing meds to go with these pain meds. So can you give me double portion food? They probably would say, yeah, because you want too many meds. See what I mean? And then there's homeopathic meds that might help you go to sleep and get some of the pain off you. I would check out the homeopathic meds too. And Jurassic! And just any type of natural meds you might be able to find at the Whole Foods or the Sprouts or natural markets. Just inquire of the staff or go to the reference books. They usually have medical reference books in there. You can look at and see what is good for pain, soothing, calming, relaxing, and sleep. And there's tea as well. Of course, there's tea you could take for that too. So just inquire of the staff or look at the medical reference books in the natural markets. You could Google, search it, and just see what's good for what, for whatever symptoms or issues you might have going along with your eye conditions and surgeries and stuff. Eye surgeries is a very serious problem, and they don't put enough emphasis on it, and I'm trying to promote awareness of eye surgeries. And I know people think that sounds stupid. However, having to go through it and endure it and not being able to finish the process because a lady was inspecting my vagina because I got an infection from the antibiotics, because they put you on a lot of antibiotics. With the eye surgery, she was inspecting my genitalia and they canceled my third surgery, my skin graft, and they gave it to some broad for plastic surgery of her breasts. Oh well, I said that's cool. She could do breast plastic surgery. She was a hermaphrodite or some stupid shit. I'm like, well, you took my skin grafted so you could get breast plastic surgery, but I did get rid of you, so I don't care. They will take your skin grafted surgeries for breasts and different type of cosmetic plastic surgery. So watch that. That is so crass. That's just crass. It's just not right. So that's one of my life goals, is just to promote eye and optical wellness, make people aware of the surgeries and injuries and issues that can happen to the optical and the eye area, and just what to do, how to deal with this and how to avoid these type of problems, because the surgeries are so expensive and painful and excruciating. The healing process is terrible, and you're always at a risk of losing sight. You can lose sight for these different eye injury and issues. So I want people to have eye wellness, optical wellness. I want you to take supplements to increase your eye wellness and optical vision, acuity, and accuracy. And I just want you to have good vision and get good eye function. I want your eyes to look normal on both eyes. And I just want y'all to do well with it and really take it seriously. And just, do your best with that. Go get your glasses and sunglasses and take care of your optical lensing and protection, health. Go to the optician to get your glasses and everything. Get your eye checks and eye exams, and don't skip out on stuff like that. Because I feel like the more effort you put in, the more likely you are to have optical wellness and good luck for your eyes. So always take care of your eyes. Go see the optician and the ophthalmologist whenever it's suggested for your age or your situation. Don't skip out on that. Just try to do that on a regular basis, And make sure that you have a good eye doctors on on your list. So if anything does happen to your eyes, you will have excellent doctors to go to. I had to leave Alabama because the doctors out there were not that good. I couldn't trust them. They were doing stuff that was making my situation worse. I didn't feel safe. Hi, Robert boy. So I had to leave and go to Houston to the medical center and ran into some better doctors. One was a clone of me. And just when I got the skin grafted part, things got bad because I had an infection in my genitalia. I told y'all, and the nurse canceled my surgery because she was looking at my genitalia area. And they said we were assaulting each other or some shit. Anyway, I was itching so bad that I had to get, a check of that area, and it was from the antibiotics. So I'm not trying to be funny, but just remember stuff like that you will need something to get you over those situations as well, so you won't end up in trouble because of antibiotics or meds or nurses touching you too much and crap like that. Try to be prepared and have the correct items you need to avoid stuff like that. All right, eat a lot of yogurt. Plain yogurt. That way you won't have them problems and stuff, God willing. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to tell y'all. Y'all stay in gear, protect your eye and upper body area, and do well with your optical health. And I'll try to do another little lesson on this when I have enough information to share. And just wish me the best in my journey for my eye health and normality. And I wish y'all the best and have a great summer. Peace. Avoid them stupid Disney characters because they're no good. Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. Avoid Disney characters because they will kill you. Bye.